Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. So glad to be here with you guys. Hope you're all having an awesome night or day, depending on where you are. Hey, DSCC. I'll give everybody a minute to come in. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Okay. So hey, Mark, there's a lot of stuff that I want to go over a bunch of different cases and things that are going on in crime right now. But obviously, I will touch on the one closest to home. So I'll give everybody a minute to get in here. But okay, so I want to start this at the beginning of every live that I do. I am going to say a quote from a movie. And if you know the answer to that or what movie that is from, I want you guys to put it in the chat for me. Okay. Today's movie quote is going to be, what are you going to do? Tell on me? My dad's over there getting baked in the minivan. If you know what movie that is from, write it in the chat. Hey, Chipper. It's actually from a show. So it will either be a quote from a show or a movie. But that is the quote. So, okay. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I want to get into. Sorry, the kids are playing flashlight tag outside. Okay. Let me go over here. Give me 1 second. All right, give me 1 second, you guys. Let me do this real quick. Don't go anywhere. Because like I said, there's a lot we're going to get into. So, Nala, no. Be a good girl. Puppies are pain, aren't they? Okay. Let me do something real quick, guys. Sorry. I thought I already did this, but I guess not. Hey! Hold on a second, y'all. These puppies fight like cats and dogs. Okay, all right. Okay, I did do it. All right, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, come on. Come on, Karma. You gotta go with Daddy. Okay. Yeah, they are. They are worse than a child, I tell you. All right, so let's get in. Let's pull up. First of all, if you have not seen this video from Illuminated Mind, check it out. The link's down in the description below. But I did ask her, and she said that I could I'm going to play just this short one because it's new. It is new footage of Kylie, at least that I've never seen. So I want to play that and then talk about a couple of things as far as Kylie goes. Okay. Now, this part of it, I'm going to have to mute because of the music, but we'll play through it. Now, this was Kaylee put this out. Now, we had seen a picture floating around way like months ago with Kaylee and Kylie on the beach. Okay. Well, they had a lot more videos together and I just think I think it's very odd and it's very telling that, now this is just my opinion, that the three girls that she hung around the most were not interviewed, and we never heard from them throughout her case. So that, I that's very odd to me. So let's play this part. Now, Kaylee made this for Kylie. So I did this on my best friend. And by the way, I think it was Cece that said there was a trend going around, and a lot of people were doing this. So I know a lot of people wanted to say, well, was she... Why is Karma back in here again? Hold on. Damn it. Go with Daddy. Okay, sorry about that. Kylie, darling, you're my best friend. Oh, really? But there's a few things that you don't know of. Why I borrow your lipstick so often. I'm using your shirt as a pillowcase. I want to ruin our friendship. We should be lovers instead. I don't know how to say this because you're really my dearest friend. Now, obviously, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were lovers. If this was a trend that that all the kids were doing back then. Okay. Now this was in 2020. Wait a second. Yep, 2020. December of 2020. Now, Mags had commented, I'm dead. Kaylee said LMAO. Okay. Here's the part I wanted to play. I think. Bella, please don't. Come here, Belle. Okay. Hey, Mama Daz, Proud Cat, Rebecca. Hello, Jerry. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your end. All right, Bella, go. Go lay down. You be good girl. Be good girl. Okay. Sorry, guys. Good Lord.
If they notice this.
So this is obviously Kylie at a sleepover, whatever. Now, there is a couple things I did notice in this video, and I wanted to point it out.
Could not, yes, but Kylie, the female JJ, she likes motherfucking Chase Stokes.
Now, a lot of people were wondering who that is. Chase Stokes is actually an actor. In case everybody didn't know that, I just wanted to make that clear.
No, you ride that dick.
I'm gonna do everything. You're gonna make mine up for you. Alright, ratings was.
Now, I also know that a lot of people wanted to comment on this laptop that she is holding. Let me make it bigger. They're like, wait a minute, that's not Kylie's laptop that was found. I've always questioned if the laptop that Check It found was actually Kylie's. It seemed more to me, in my opinion, it looked more like a teenage boy's laptop as far as the stickers and shit that were on it goes. Okay. So I'm not 100% convinced that the one they pulled out of the lake was even her laptop. The other thing that I wanted to say was, we don't know. This could be anybody, any one of these girls' laptops.
These are what absolutely destroy me. Why Aurora is definitely part of the LGBTQ community based on all the gay shit she does. Right. All the people we have sit there.
Now, this was a game also that a lot of girls used to play. Okay.
All the people get smashed. Ice Age character everyone would hook up with based on past experiences and preferences. Ow!
Okay. Now, it does not look like this. This looks like a nice place. I'm not saying a crappy place, a nice place, but not a rich place. Okay. Now, I also wanted to point this out. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. Right here should be one. Nope. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, right here. Do y'all see this thermostat on the wall? Now, those are like the old school thermostats, okay? The hand dial old school thermostats. So this must be an older home, I would imagine. So I wanted to point that out. Now, this was November 29th of 2020. This video was posted. What is it's a man.
It's a present.
You goofball. Thank you. No, Dr. Mama's in here. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see it. Hold on one second. Angie Dominic, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I know. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your guys' support. It very much is appreciated. Probably Jaggers. Yeah, I mean, it could be. We don't know, honestly. It could be anybody's, but it definitely reminded me more of a teenage boy's laptop than it did Kylie's. So shout out to Illuminated Mind for finding this new footage. I like that we actually get to see her doing something in this video, right? Like we've seen pictures or that one video that Jay took, that he said he took without her knowing, in the black dress and the shoes. But I like seeing her in this light, seeing her with her friends, having fun, just being teenagers. So very much appreciated, Illuminated Mind. Awesome. Okay.
Smashed. Ice Age character everyone would hook up with based on past experiences and preferences. Ow! If they noticed this. Could not, yes, but Kylie, the female JJ. She likes motherfucking Chase Stokes.
No, you right that dick.
I'm gonna do everything. You're gonna make my.
So we know Mags was there, Emmy was there, Kaylee was there, but we didn't hear from these girls. I mean, we didn't hear from them during this, and that makes me wonder. And it doesn't make any sense, because why would we hear from people that she was not even closest to throughout this, right? Like, we heard from Sam and her big fat mouth this whole entire case, and she was nothing to Kylie. They didn't even have one picture. Bella! They didn't even have one picture or video together. And it's like, why is this girl? All right, hold on, guys. You need to stop it. Let's go, Belle. Come on. Okay, so sorry.
Alright, rating celebrities are my absolutely.
Awesome video. I think it's 3 years ago, because Sammy was trying to paint the narrative, so she inserted herself. Is that Kate in the comment that says she's hurt that she wasn't invited? I don't know if that was her old account or not. I did wonder about that, though. This is 3 years ago. Maybe the real friends moved away. Well, I know Kaylee did move, but she used to live in Tahoe. Okay. Now, listen, I'm going to say this. I feel like we have gone, and if you've been part of my channel since the beginning of Kylie's case, then you know that I have tried to cover every single aspect of her case and come up with any and everything. I called out what I saw. I called out all the suspicious characters. I called out all the funny business. I pointed out everything that I could. I have literally done everything on my end that I could do. And with the, I'm not a cop, I'm not an investigator, I'm not a detective on the case. And until new information comes to light and until somebody comes forward, we're not going to get the answers that we are seeking. Yes, I love seeing Kylie when she was happy, and what an absolute treat to hear her sweet voice. Precious girl, we will never stop fighting for you, sweet baby girl. So, those of you that want, listen, I'm doing what I can do. And like I said, if any new information comes to light, that I will be on top of it, and I'll be the first person to, come to you guys with it. I'm not like that. So, but until that day comes, listen, I mean, I can keep digging into everybody else, but it's not getting us any answers. So I will just, go with what comes. Come what may. All right. Now, thanks, Dr. Mama. I love you guys too. How many of you guys followed the Suzanne Morphew case? I did not, but my mother-in-law did. 3 years later, and they just found her remains. Her husband was actually charged with, well, he was charged, right? They didn't have a body. So he went through court, and then the jury decided that there was not enough evidence to convict him. So he got off. But now that her body has been found, and a lot of people think he's guilty, do they have the right to go after him again? Yes. The judge said if any new evidence came to light, they could always retry him. So they actually said that her remains were found by accident. The discovery of Suzanne Morphew's remains more than 3 years after the Colorado woman went missing on Mother's Day is raising new questions about what happened and whether her husband remains a suspect since murder charges brought against him were dropped. Barry Morphew asserted his innocence in a statement issued through his attorneys Thursday. They said he and the couple's 2 grown daughters had held out hope that Suzanne would return alive. He previously filed a $15 million lawsuit against county officials, accusing them of violating his constitutional rights. Authorities are not answering questions about how last week's discovery of the remains impacts the case, saying only that the investigation continues. Now, what's really weird is they said that they were looking for another body. They were looking for somebody else, and they just happened to stumble upon her in a shallow grave. Like, that's a little, like somebody would have had to have given them a heads up, you would think, for them to look in that certain spot for another woman. Like, that's just bizarre. What happened to Suzanne? Morphew, originally from Alexandria, Indiana, was 49 when she was reported missing by a neighbor near the small city of Salida, Colorado on May 10th, 2020, Mother's Day. On Mother's Day. Her disappearance launched searches of the mountainous area by local and state authorities, aided by the FBI. Dive teams searched waterways. Is this still good? No. Dive teams searched waterways, and more than 400 people were interviewed in multiple states as investigators sought clues. Suzanne Morphew's brother said months later that the family was organizing its own search. How was the body found? By accident. State investigators working on an unrelated case discovered the remains September 22nd in the Mafat area, about 40 miles south of where Suzanne Morphew was reported missing in the vicinity of her home. Her bones were located in a remote field of sagebrush and grasses. It appeared the remains had been buried in a shallow grave before being scattered. Like, that's super weird, right? Like, first her remains were buried in a shallow grave, and then they were what? Dug up and scattered across the field? That's so bizarre. Okay. Authorities identified the remains as the missing woman on Wednesday. She had been among more than 23,000 unresolved missing persons cases nationwide, according to federal data. That includes 367 open cases in Colorado. People who are Native American or Black account for a disproportionately high number of missing persons in the U.S. compared to the overall population, the statistics show. Barry Morphew was arrested in May of 2021 on suspicion of first-degree murder, tampering with a human body, and other offenses. He also was charged with possessing a banned short rifle and trying to influence public servants after his wife disappeared. Investigators alleged the couple had a troubled marriage. Since Barry Morphew could not control her, the avid hunter and sportsman resorted to something he has done his entire life: hunt and control her, like he had hunted and controlled animals. Investigators said in an affidavit. Prosecutors alleged that Morphew killed his wife on the evening of May 9th, 2020, before leaving for work in the Denver area the following day. He did not initially tell investigators he went out of his way as he left, driving toward the place where his wife's bicycle helmet was eventually found. Later, he said he went that way because he had seen an elk cross the road. Authorities also allege that Morphew submitted a fraudulent vote on his wife's behalf for Donald Trump in the 2020 November presidential election. Morphew told investigators he mailed in the ballot on behalf of Suzanne Morphew to help Trump win, and he thought his wife would have voted for Trump anyway. What in the world? He pleaded guilty to fraud and was fined an assessed court cost of $600. Is he still a suspect? Prosecutors dropped the charges over her death in April of 2022 after a judge barred them from calling key witnesses for repeatedly failing to follow rules for turning over evidence in Barry's favor. That included DNA from an unknown male found in Suzanne Morphew's SUV. At the time, prosecutors said they wanted more time to find her body. Now, she was having another relationship on the side, but don't think he wasn't getting down and dirty too. Let me see what some of y'all are saying. Yeah, a lot of people thought he was guilty, Mark. Cece said, I did. Daughters and husband, weird vibe there. Yeah, right. And what's really weird is the daughter had text messages with her mom. And she said to her mom, why don't you just leave him? I mean, he treats you so bad. Why don't you just leave him? And then that's super weird because and she was talking about her own father. And then after the mom went missing, the daughter was completely, totally different. It's super weird. I just heard about the case for the first time today. New evidence is critical. I just don't understand people and why they kill. Honestly, I don't either. She also had battled cancer, and he probably cheated first a few times. She came from a wealthy family. Watch their interview. They spoke out. It's not normal, and I won't say why. Y'all be the judge. I can send it if you need. Yeah, you want to send it over to me real quick? And I'll play it. I remember hearing bits and pieces about the case way back, but I never followed it or anything. Let me go grab that from her. Hi. Honey, you guys can't all be right there by the. Tell him to go out right out by the front porch where Dad is. Sorry, guys, I'm grabbing that for you. Give me just a second. Oh, did y'all find out that they arrested somebody for Tupac's murder today? This morning, yep, we'll talk about it. Craziness. Oh, hey, Billy, darling. It's one thing to cheat on your spouse, but another to kill them. Sounds like the daughter is scared of the dad. Could be. I'm not familiar enough with the case where I could say that, but oh, thank you guys. And I don't know if you guys all get my community posts. I know some people, like my mother-in-law on her tablet, she does not get any of the community posts for some reason. But I post a lot on there. So if you guys, keep an eye out for that. Tonight's the big harvest moon, so I did put a community post out about that. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Cece. Let me pull this up for you guys. Give me just a second.
We've been silent for a long time, and we've decided that we finally want to break the silence.
This morning, just days before the second anniversary of her disappearance, the family of Suzanne Morphew is speaking out for the first time since the murder charges against her husband were dropped.
It's been an emotional roller coaster, but we feel like we can finally take our first steps in healing, which is a blessing. And yeah, we just know our dad better than anyone else. And we know he was not involved in our mom's disappearance.
Mallory and Macy Morphew, standing by their father, who investigators believed was responsible for their mother's disappearance 2 years ago. The three, seen walking out of court arm in arm just moments after the charges against him were dropped.
We want to heal. We feel like we haven't been able to heal these past 2 years.
The family says Suzanne left her Colorado home for a bike ride, but never returned.
I just love my girls. And I love my wife, and I just want her to be found.
But investigators told a different story, arresting Barry Morphew, the charges ranging from first-degree murder to tampering with physical evidence. Prosecutors argued that Morphew discovered his wife was having an affair, then murdered her, disposed of her body, and staged a bike crash in a rural area. Releasing this body camera footage from the hours after she was reported missing, police saying Morphew touched evidence.
Hey, could you not touch that bike with your hands, please?
Morphew's daughters say he isn't a killer and are celebrating the dismissal of the case, now demanding District Attorney Linda Stanley should do more.
I just hope that Linda will step up to the plate and do everything she can to find our mom, because what they've done is not fair. And we're never going to stop looking for our mom.
Court filings say that while authorities are close to discovering Suzanne's body, weather has complicated the efforts. The location where Suzanne's body is believed to be has 5 feet of snow concealing it. But the family's attorney says authorities have mishandled the case and are planning to file a complaint against the DA.
And if you want to honor Suzanne and you want to honor the daughters, go find Suzanne.
The DA's office telling ABC News they and law enforcement have been diligently searching for Suzanne Morphew since she was reported missing, and that they are continuing to do so.
Prosecutors need to be held responsible, and they need to pay for the damage they've caused to Barry, which is frankly nearly irreparable, because it's hard for anybody to believe that Barry is not who they claim he was.
All right. So that was a little weird. Okay. In my opinion, they're all very pretty. And she was very pretty, the mom. But yeah, that didn't seem genuine at all to me as far as their statement goes. I mean, they all walked out of court looking very happy when the charges were dropped against him. But I feel like, where's your closure? I mean, yes, she's not missing. You know she's been found, but you still don't know what happened to her. I don't know. It just seemed a little. Is it already out, CC? Did they already put the new one out? Hey, Molson. Hey, Shelly Ray. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Now let me move over here. I'll have to watch more on that before I can say. Why does it do that? Hold on a second, you guys. Sorry. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you can, consider joining the family and becoming a member. Okay. It did seem very forced. It was super weird. And the girl looked at him the whole time she was talking. It was really freaking weird. Okay. Can Barry be charged again with murder of his straying wife, Suzanne? She was very pretty. After the remains of missing mom were discovered in rural Colorado following her disappearance more than 3 years ago, her husband Barry appears likely to face murder charges for a second time. Suzanne, 49, vanished during a bike ride on Mother's Day 2020 near the Maysville, Colorado home she shared with Barry and their 2 daughters. Authorities say Barry was the last person to see his wife alive. He denies involvement in his wife's death, and his lawyer on Wednesday repeated assertions that Morphew is innocent. Suzanne's disappearance attracted nationwide attention and sparked a massive search. Nearly a year later, in May 2021, despite the absence of a body, Barry was arrested on charges of murder, tampering with physical evidence, and attempting to influence a public servant in connection with his wife's disappearance. Now, I mean, they had to have enough where they could actually charge him with her murder. Charges dismissed without prejudice. Days before he was set to stand trial in April of 2022, a judge dismissed the case, citing the prosecution's failure to produce evidence in a timely manner. DA Linda Stanley asked for the case to be dismissed without prejudice, which the judge agreed to. Dismissing a case without prejudice means charges can be filed against Morphew, including murder. Since Suzanne's remains were recovered Friday and publicly identified Wednesday, attorney and legal analyst say those charges are likely to be filed once more. In this case, the U.S. Constitution's ban on double jeopardy, trying a person twice for the same crime, does not apply because the case never went before a jury. Okay. Because the prosecutors dismissed the case without prejudice, that means they can refile the charges because there was no jury in the first case, meaning there's no actual double jeopardy. The legal analyst said the prosecution clearly has a more well-grounded case compared to the first time around now that they have found her body. Nala, if you're the prosecution, you prefer to have a body, and now that they have one, they're going to be able to do all sorts of forensic analysis. Someone murdered her, whether it was him or not. Come on. Stupid ads. Hold on, guys. Okay. Hold on one second. I know, Molson. It is. It is ridiculous. Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. Sorry. I'm going to do something real quick. Okay. Sorry. Had to do that real quick. All righty. Now, let's move on. California deputy allegedly actually abused teenager over a 5-year period. A Stanislaus County, California deputy was arrested Tuesday morning on allegations that he had actually abused a teenager over the course of about 5 years. The Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office said 40-year-old Deputy Matthew Desert was arrested Tuesday for continual abuse of a child, lewd and lascivious acts with a minor 14 or 15 years of age. Penetration with a foreign object of a victim under the age of 18, sexual battery, and physical abuse of a child. A sheriff's deputy. What is up with California's police force, man? Authorities said a school counselor contacted detectives Monday morning regarding a student who disclosed the sexual abuse. When detectives responded to the school to investigate, they learned the teenager allegedly knew the victim, and the abuse began when he was 9 years old. Detectives requested to interview Desert at the sheriff's office, and he voluntarily complied, authorities said. He was later arrested, booked into jail, and held on $425,000 bail. A few hours after being booked, Desert posted bail. That is such crap, too, because if you are arrested for doing some shit like that to a child, and then especially on top of that, you were an officer, you should not be allowed bail at all. Desert was hired by the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office as a patrol deputy in 2014. He has since been placed on paid administrative leave, and his peace officer powers have been revoked. Are you kidding me? So you have a cop who's done this from a 9-year-old up until the kid was 14 years old, abusing him, and he's on paid leave and out on bail, still getting paid. That is ridiculous. The investigation into the matter is ongoing, and out of confidentiality, the sheriff's office will not release the name of the school. Anyone with any information about the case is encouraged to contact Detective Jay Wall at 209-525-7038. You can call me Molly. Okay, will do.
Are you done, Mom?
No. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. I mean, I can't take it with these teachers and these cops and these people that are supposed to be authority figures doing things like this. I can't take it. I know. Y'all, listen, I don't know if you ever seen the cartoon The Loud House, but that's where I live at. That's my house. If my house was a cartoon, it would be The Loud House. Okay. Moving on. Now, I had talked about this. I had made a short video about this a few days ago. Jaylee Chilson, who was she ran away from home, and the deputy found her at a party. And I find this story a little confusing too, I'm not going to lie. She ran away from home. The deputy tracked her to a party, and he was there talking to her, trying to convince her to come home, when she pulled out a firearm and took her own life. And her parents have come out and said, listen, she was being bullied for the last couple of years. The school administrative, the staff, everybody knew about it. Parents were letting their kids treat her that way. Parents were also turning their back on her. And she just couldn't take it anymore. I'm wondering where she got the gun to do it with, and why she had a gun at the party. You know, I mean, that's a little crazy to me. But mom of teen who died by side says her bullies played a part in crushing her. The devastated mother of 14-year-old Kansas teen Jaylee Chilson, who fatally herself in front of a deputy earlier this month, said she's enraged at her daughter's bullies. I'm angry with those that hurt my baby, Stacy Chilson recently wrote on Facebook. I'm furious with those I know hurt her and will talk about her now like they didn't play a part in crushing her. The girl was believed to have run away on September 16th to attend a field party in Aurora for college and high school students. Okay, for a second there, I thought I was muted the whole time. I was like, oh no. Sorry. Okay. Guys. On September 16th to attend a field party in Aurora for college and high school students. Her parents called the Cloud County Sheriff's Office for help, according to a news release. A deputy found her and tried to convince her to return home. He was escorting her to his patrol vehicle when she pulled out a firearm and herself in front of multiple partygoers. The sheriff's office release says the officer did not draw his weapon. The girl's family previously said that the teenager had switched schools to escape relentless harassment, but the abuse continued. Her father, Jeb Chilson, told reporters that another girl had dumped rubber cement in her hair at school in front of other students and that she was often beaten up, and once she was sexually assaulted. Stacy described her daughter's final year of life as one of constant torment and exclusion. I'm going to pause that right there because this shit pisses me off to no end. I don't know what is going on in the world. I don't know why all these kids are being raised with no morals, no compassion, no empathy, and no fucking thoughts for another human being. I mean, what is going on here? I mean, this is completely insane. And you know what? If you are a parent and you know your child is bullying somebody and harassing somebody, don't look at it and just be like, oh, that's kid stuff. That's no big deal. Everybody has bullies, because you don't know how much that kid can take. You don't know what her life has been like. You don't know if that's her final straw. So teach your freaking kids to do better, to learn to treat people better. I know somebody had left a comment on I had done a short video about this the other day because I was just so outraged. And I know somebody left a comment and they were like, you know what? Like, bullies have always been around, and bullies, you know what? It's a part of life. It's a part of growing up. You know, it makes you stronger. Everybody is different, right? Everybody feels different things. Everybody has a higher tolerance for bullshit like that. Okay. So to say that, I think, is completely irresponsible. If you're bullying somebody and constantly tormenting them and doing everything that you can to make that person's life miserable, that's not okay. That's not normal. And that is not a part of what growing up should be like. So if you have kids, teach them to freaking do better. Teach them to be better people. Teach them to care about other human beings, for God's sakes. Okay. I've read days worth of messages from her friends that treated her absolutely awful. Hold on 1 second. I want to go over and see what you guys are saying. Um, Amen, CNY. Some blame is internet and 24/7 access to garbage. Love that statement, CNY. Goosebumps and tears. I mean, it's infuriating. It really is. Like, why can't people teach their kids to be better people? Okay. I mean, for God's sakes, at least teach them how to treat another human being. Teach them to be empathetic and pay attention to what other people around them are going through. And teach them that if they see somebody at school that's they know is having a hard time, that's constantly being picked on by other people or constantly being bullied, teach them to be a friend. You know, teach them to care. That's all I'm saying. Okay, hold on one second, you guys. What's up, babe? All right, I was bullied all through school. Had 2 friends all through school. Being bullied is not fun. It's a mind fuck. Takes a lot out of you. Teach them let me pull this up. Teach them while they're young. Otherwise, they grow up into adult bullies. And I speak from experience. Our neighbor is an adult bully and constantly bullies me. Oh, that is ridiculous, Mama. But you're exactly right. Okay, now let me go finish reading this, you guys. I've read days worth of messages from her friends that treated her absolutely awful. Watched as she was not included with girls on her sports teams. Watched adults on a school level repeatedly fail her. Watched as girls that were once her best friends not even acknowledge her when she would walk by them. And watched a handful of parents who used to gush about her and how amazing she was turn to calling her names and talking badly about her to their kids. The grieving mother lashed out at Jaylee's bullies. Please do not. If you know you were part of the problem, if you knew your child was part of the problem, use my daughter's name now that she is gone. You don't deserve to, Stacy wrote of her only daughter. Jaylee left behind 4 heartbroken brothers. A funeral was held September 25th at the Evangelical Covenant Church, where the teens were remembered for her love of softball, fishing, and camping. All right. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. The grieving mother. The grieving mother lashed out at Jaylee's. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. The world lost one of its brightest lights. Her mother wrote in an online tribute, "This girl has the biggest heart of anyone I know." Stacy called her the perfect daughter and her everything. Our hearts are shattering. It's unbearable. It's not fair, the mother wrote. There is nothing that will ever make this hurt go away. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation is probing the tragic death. KBI and Clay County Superintendent Brett Nelson did not return requests for comment. A GoFundMe to help the family pay for funeral expenses has raised more than $24,000 as of Wednesday afternoon. Can Jay Lee's bullies be held accountable legally? I think they absolutely should be held accountable. I think the mom should be able to take all of those messages and any other proof that she has documented that her daughter was bullied nonstop and be able to do something about that and be able to put charges on the ones who wrote it. Maybe, just maybe, if they took one of these cases and made okay, guys, I am sorry for all of the disruptions, but my true followers will understand. I'm a mother. I've got 4 kids. I've got tons of freaking dogs, and I got baby chicks over here next to me. It is what it is. So, okay. Love you. All right, so they arrested Tupac's, according to them, the guy who killed Tupac this morning. So let's check this press conference out real quick. It's not very long. For those of you that don't know, he was killed in 1996.
And Biggie Smalls was himself fatally shot just a little bit later in March of 1997. Let's listen in here live.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon. 27 years. 27 years. For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefy D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by my LVMPD criminal apprehension team, and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It is far from over. It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today. Several of those detectives that are standing here with us include Detective Cliff Mogg, the lead detective on this case. He is now retired. Well, I know there's been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department. I'm here to tell you that was simply not the case. It was not the case back then, and it is not the case today. Our goal at LVMPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable. Just like we do for every homicide victim in our city. Every single victim, every life that is lost is important and remains a priority to this police department. As we methodically built this case to move forward with an arrest, it was also important that at the same time, we're building towards a successful prosecution. We work closely with our esteemed district attorney, Steve Wolfson, in his office to ensure that is going to happen. Mr. Davis's own words reinvigorated our case in 2018. I'm going to give you some of those details, and I'm going to introduce to you our homicide lieutenant, Jason Johansson, and he will provide you many of the details on how we got here today. Lieutenant.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you everybody for being here today. My name is Jason Johansson, and I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And my goal here today is to walk you through our investigation and what led us to the indictment of Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. This case has been reviewed by our homicide team and homicide detectives for over 2.5 decades. And ultimately, our persistence in this investigation has paid off. Let me walk you through a timeline of events that as we know them right now. Prior to September 7th of 1996, as we all know, Tupac Shakur was an artist who was signed with Death Row Records. And that Death Row Records and its CEO, Marion Suge Knight, were closely affiliated with the Mob Piru criminal street gangs, and that they had an ongoing feud with the Southside Compton Crips. Dwayne Davis was the leader and shot caller of the Southside Compton Crips. And both of these gangs operated out of the Southern California area of Compton. On the night of September 7th of 1996, Tupac Shakur, along with Suge Knight, and members of their entourage, which include members of Mob Piru, came to Vegas to attend the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Members of the Southside Compton Crips, which included Dwayne Davis, along with his nephew, Orlando Anderson, were also in attendance at the same event. As both were leaving the fight, members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM. And at that time, they began to kick and punch him near that elevator bank. I will now show you hotel security footage, as many of you have already seen, related to this incident. And on this incident, you will see Tupac Shakur, who's wearing a shiny satiny shirt, along with Marion Suge Knight, who's a large man in a brown suit, punching and kicking Orlando Anderson. Following this incident, you'll see hotel security intervene, and then they will leave the area of the fight. Little did anyone know that it is this incident right here that would ultimately lead to the retaliatory shooting and death of Tupac Shakur. Following this incident, Tupac and Suge Knight both left the MGM to make their way to a post-fight party, which was to occur at a local nightclub. At the same time, word had spread amongst members of the Southside Compton Crips of what had occurred inside the MGM. And then that's when Dwayne Davis began to devise a plan to obtain a firearm and retaliate against Suge Knight and Mr. Shakur for what occurred inside the hotel against Mr. Anderson. After Davis obtained a gun, he entered into a white Cadillac along with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. Based on our investigation, this is where we know they were seated. At some point in time, as they were in the white Cadillac, Mr. Davis took the gun that he had obtained and provided it to the passengers in the rear seat of the vehicle. As they were driving west on Flamingo Road near Koval, they had located the black BMW, which was driven by Suge Knight. Following that shooting, Alec fled the area southbound on Koval, and after officers arrived on scene, Tupac was later transported to the University Medical Center, where he was treated medically and died approximately 6 days later on September 13th. My homicide section handled this investigation from its onset, and for a short amount of time, And within a short amount of time, what we knew was that we were working a gang investigation where our victims, our witnesses, and our suspects were all from Southern California and not local to Las Vegas. Within the first few months of the investigation, our detectives knew most of the information I just briefed you on. However, we never had the necessary evidence to bring this case forward and present it for criminal charges. As time went on, this case had been reviewed multiple times by different investigators assigned to my section, but it wasn't until 2018 that this case was reinvigorated as additional information came to light related to this homicide. Specifically, Dwayne Davis's own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets. In our section, we knew at this time that this was likely our last time to take a run at this case to successfully solve this case and bring forth a criminal charge. It was at that time that this case was assigned to Cliff Mogg, a detective within my homicide section. And over the last 5 years, my section worked closely, hand in hand with the Clark County District Attorney's Office and followed a systematic investigative plan over the last 5 years. We've conducted countless interviews and corroborated numerous facts that were not only consistent with the crime scene on the night of the incident, but also corroborated and were consistent with the sequence of events that night. This ultimately led to us procuring a search warrant, which was executed at Mr. Davis's residence in Henderson, Nevada. And following the execution of that search warrant, in close coordination with the District Attorney's Office, this case was presented to the grand jury, which ultimately led to Davis being indicted on charges of murder. Before I hand it off to the District Attorney's Office, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Detective Mogg and all the other detectives that were not only assigned this case and reviewed this case, but all the other detectives from other agencies that assisted us in this investigation. They know who they are, and thank you very much for all the assistance you provided. It does not go unnoticed. And lastly, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is that we need to make this be a reminder that the charge of murder does not have a statute of limitations. This agency has been and is invested in solving our cold case homicides so that we can bring closure to those families and justice for those victims of homicide.
About damn time. Only 27 years. Yeah, send some of that my way, guys. Just send it over to the Loud House. Oh, God. Picked a bad time to be LD. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I know a lot of people probably don't care because it was way back in 1996 that this happened, but I care. I loved his music. He was super, super smart. Broccoli and carrots. Oh, Lord. Okay. But yeah, he was so smart, so smart. Anyway, moving on. Please hit that thumbs up for Friday Night Crime Talk with CNY. We got a lot more things to go over. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are freaking awesome. Make sure you sub, definitely, if you have not done so. And please consider joining to become a member. Okay. Now, I do want to say this. As I was reading Jaylee Chilson's mother's statement in that previous section there, and how she said, listen, this is to anyone that bullied my daughter. This is to anyone that treated her like crap. Do not mutter my daughter's name. Do not talk about my daughter because you are what put her where she is right now. Why didn't Lindsay have that fucking passion with Kylie? And that's what always has gotten me so, so angry. But that's what mothers are supposed to be like when tragedy strikes their child, right? Pissed off, mad, upset, angry at the people that pushed her over the edge. Just wanted to add that in there. Okay. I know, guys. I know. Here's another one. Autistic girl, 10, takes her own life after bullying as mom says, I wish she would have told me. An autistic 10-year-old girl described as the sweetest person took her own life after being bullied at school. Her heartbroken mom didn't, 10 years old. Her heartbroken mom didn't realize how bad the bullying had gotten before Isabella tragically passed away. Mom Brittany has spoken to Good Morning America about how she remembers her daughter 2 years from her death on November 6, 2021. Brittany said this, I just didn't know how bad it was. I think she made a temporary decision in a moment of hurt, and I'll never forget that. It was after the tragic death of the 5th grader that the mom heard from her other children how bad the bullying had gotten. 5th grade. She added, I knew part of it, and I kept calling the school. I kept calling the district, but I didn't know the severity of it. She said, I told her, you can tell me anything. And she normally did, but I kind of feel like she was trying to protect me. I just wish she would have told me. Izzy was one of the few Black students at the local public elementary school in their home state of Utah. In August, hold on one second, guys. Okay. Announced a $2 million settlement over allegations that teachers and administrators had not stopped the reported harassment. The lawsuit said that Izzy, the only Black student in her class, was bullied by students at North Salt Lake's Foxborough Elementary School by classmates who called her the N-word, told her she stank, and made fun of her for being autistic. Bullying in schools is on the rise in recent years. A survey of 130,000 kids aged 9 to 18, released in August by the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, found that 40% of respondents said that they were bullied on school property in the past year. This was a rise of 3% from the previous year. In 2021, suicide was the second leading cause of death for children aged 10 to 14. That's crazy, right? The second leading cause of death for children aged 10 to 14 and young adults aged 20 to 34 in the U.S. Brittany said she was in the process of moving Izzy to a new school when her daughter died. I didn't want the next school she went to go and get bullied there, she said. By the time I thought I found the perfect school, she had already taken her life. I can't help but blame myself because I wish I would have gotten to it sooner. In the years since her daughter's death, Brittany has made it her mission to stop another parent from losing a child due to bullying. She launched a nonprofit organization, Izzy's Village, that she described as a place for young people to find support for bullying and mental health struggles. I mean, it is definitely something. And you know what? Most of the time, schools and the schools themselves, the school district, the staff, what the hell just happened? Don't do anything to help the students. They don't lift a damn finger. Most of the time, the schools usually side with the bullies. I homeschool my babies, and they even have had bullying when they deal with public school kids. Homeschool kids are so much nicer to them. I agree. I agree. Have a good night, Michael. With Lindsay, you did not search or fight, not love this community for helping me and supporting. I mean, it's insane. The teachers these days don't do shit. No, they don't. They do not do a thing to help these kids. I was actually thinking about, and I was talking to Leslie about this. I was thinking about, because I had gone through so much shit, been through so much when I was younger and through my entire life, actually, that I wanted to do like a teen Thursdays, do something where I can try to help teenagers who are dealing with stuff, to help them in any way that I can, help them with their struggles, to help them just get through it all. So I think that would be a cool idea. Just something I've been thinking about. More than 1,000 kids reported missing in Ohio this year. Northern Ohio has seen a surge in missing children this year, with more than 1,000 cases reported so far. Where the hell are all of the children? As many as 45 minors have disappeared in the Cleveland-Akron area this month alone. This month, 45 minors have disappeared. How insane. Here's some of their faces. In May on Fox News, John Mahoy, president of Cleveland Missing and the police chief of Newburgh Heights, spoke on the alarming,
or whether or not they get up, and so all kinds of concerns to be involved in this, whether the children are runaways, or whether or not they get up and involved in drugs or gangs or some other violent crimes, or they were taken against their will, but there's no evidence to show that. There's no Amber Alerts or anything like that. But it is an alarming trend for this time of year, for sure.
1,000 kids? Yeah, I would say that's a little alarming, people. I mean, what is happening with all of the babies in the world today? Oh, Jerry, me too. Hi, Silence. Thanks for coming. Okay, let's move on. Oh, hold on. I gotta tell my kids something real quick.
Please, Mom.
Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I'm telling you. Okay, check this out. Apist spared jail because he's so young, says he suffered miscarriage of justice. A man who walked free after being found guilty of a teenage girl will have his conviction reviewed, as prosecutors admitted mistakes were made during his trial. Sean Hogg suffered a miscarriage of justice after being convicted of raping the 13-year-old girl in 2018 when he was 17. My kids normally wouldn't be this loud, guys, but they have friends over, so they're being super loud. Hold on. Okay. He had suffered a miscarriage of justice after being convicted. Okay, I said that. Sorry. When he was 17, she was 13. now Hogg, 22, insists he was wrongfully convicted of repeatedly attacking the girl in Scotland. He was spared a prison sentence due to his age and sentenced to 270 hours of unpaid work by Judge Lord Lake at Glasgow's High Court in April. He would have been jailed for 4 or 5 years had he been aged over 25, the judge said. Prosecutors at Scotland's Crown Office had intended to challenge Hogg's sentence, described as unduly lenient. However, Scotland's most senior judges will now review whether the conviction should be quashed due to legal mistakes, including a factual error on behalf of the trial judge. The complainant has been left devastated by the decision and maintains that she told the truth. Both the advocate, prosecutor, and the trial judge were identified as having failed to push for more detail or issue adequate directions to the jury, the appeal court was told. I mean, how crazy is that? Because he was too young, he was spared jail time. And now going to get off on it all. He was sentenced to what, 270 hours of unpaid work? Oh, for God's sakes. Cry me a river. What a miscarriage of injustice that was. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, so he gets off scot-free. Yep, family life on a Friday night. Sorry, it is what I mean. Hey, okay. Witnesses say mom on cell phone repeatedly ignored her child as he drowned at El Paso Water Park. Jessica Weaver was arrested on September 22nd and released the same day on a bond after Texas officials had her extradited from her native Indiana. There's the little boy. An Indiana mother who filed a negligence lawsuit against El Paso, Texas, after her 3-year-old son drowned at after her 3-year-old son drowned at one of the city's water parks, is now facing child injury charges after police learned from eyewitnesses that she may have ignored the boy as he struggled to stay above the water. Anthony Leo Malave drowned at El Paso's Camp Cohen Water Park back on May 12th. He was pronounced dead the next day at an area hospital. Soon after, his mother, 35-year-old Jessica Weaver, retained attorneys who filed a $1 million lawsuit claiming her son's death resulted from gross negligence on the part of the water park and its lifeguards. However, the El Paso Times obtained a copy of the criminal complaint against Weaver, which alleges the mom was distracted by her phone during her son's drowning. Eyewitnesses allegedly told investigators Weaver was seen repeatedly ignoring her unattended toddler prior to his drowning. As a result, Weaver has been charged with criminal negligence on the charge of injury to a child by omission and connection, the messenger confirmed through online court records. She was more worried about being on her phone than watching her own child. Weaver was arrested on September 22nd and released the same day on a $100,000 bond. Texas officials had her extradited from her native Indiana. Witnesses allegedly told police they saw Weaver motion her son into the pool, then walked away as he descended the steps in the shallow end. Another witness said the boy wasn't wearing a life preserver, which are made available to park guests. One witness, according to the El Paso Times, described Weaver as being all dolled up, sitting outside the pool on her phone, taking photographs the entire time. A different witness said he didn't think Weaver had a child and said she never once looked up from her phone while she was at the pool. Police learned from another witness Weaver barely reacted as her son was pulled from the bottom of the pool and that she was spotted singing along to a song that was playing and she was laying down looking at her phone approximately 7 minutes before the child victim was removed from the water. That just makes me sick. Ryan S. McLeod, one of Weaver's attorneys, told the El Paso Times the charges are retaliation for the lawsuit that his client filed against the city. However, El Paso District Attorney Bill Hicks told the paper that that was patently false. Every single baby death is reviewed, Hicks said. I'm not going to lure myself to a back and forth with a civil attorney. This is a criminal proceeding. It's the state of Texas versus Miss Weaver. I don't have anything to say to him. Even as they pulled her son's body, her 3-year-old child's body out of the water, the dumb bitch watched her phone and never even looked up for an entire 7 minutes. I mean, wow. See, monsters are out there, and they're out there everywhere. I mean, it's completely insane. Okay, moving on. According to her town's mayor, missing teen Lena, 15, got into a car willingly or by force. The hours tick by and 15-year-old Lena is still nowhere to be found. After another day of searching and digging in ponds, there was no trace of the teenager. This is her, guys. Very pretty, very young. At around 11:15 a.m. on Saturday, 15-year-old Lena walked in her town's train station to join her boyfriend, Tao, in Stroudsburg. Unfortunately, after several unanswered messages and calls, Tao informed the teenager's mother. When the train pulled into the station, Lena was nowhere to be seen. Following initial discoveries, the investigators know for certain that the teenager never boarded the train bound for Strasbourg. Surveillance cameras at the nearby pond also showed no trace of her. The young girl therefore disappeared between her home and the entrance to the psychopath along the main road. For Patricia Simoni, the town's mayor, there is no doubt that Lena was abducted. She could only have been taken away by a car, willingly or by force. On Tuesday, September 26th, on the set of French show, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Her colleague Zoe had also said that she thought her friend had met someone ill-intentioned on her way. I think it was an ill-intentioned person who met her path. I still hope to find her. Everyone is devastated. Unfortunately, the search on Wednesday, September 27th, came to nothing. However, 2 witnesses confirmed that they had seen the young girl a few minutes before the tragedy. But what happened to her? The mystery remains unsolved. A new search will take place this Thursday. Prayers that 15-year-old Lena is found safe and brought home. Prayers for Lena. I will definitely keep you guys posted on anything new that I hear on her case. Okay. Texas man charged after police say he shared more than 100 inappropriate images of children. A man in Clear Lake, Texas, has been accused of sharing more than 100 videos and pictures of children from the home where he lives with his parents. Police said a search also revealed 27 pairs of children's underwear in the suspect's possession. Aldo Vidal, 34, was arrested and charged with 3 counts of possession of CP. Investigators found out about the images and were able to track down Vidal via a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. This monster right here. Records state there was evidence of sexual contact offenses with children inside the home where Vidal lives with his parents. His address listed on court documents is within walking distance of at least 3 schools. When ABC 13 asked Lieutenant Freddie Croft, a task force commander for the Houston's Region's Internet Crimes Against Children unit working the case, if Vidal knew any of the children in the pictures and who the items belonged to, he said, "We are still really early on in the investigation. Because we just did the search warrant this week, we don't have any information as far as where those items came from." More charges could be forthcoming for Vidal. Bond for each charge of CP was set to $12,500. Years ago, we were receiving 2,000 to 3,000 tips a year, and we are now on a pace for about 23,000 tips this year for our area, Croft said. We do proactive investigations where we go online to catch a predator-style target these individuals on these messaging boards and intercept between them and children. I mean, when are we ever going to live in a world where people just stop hurting children? Okay, sorry guys, I had to hold on. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, yeah, I forgot to share this. Let me share this. This is about Suzanne. Who is Tisha Leeway? Suzanne Morphew's friend slams police for accidentally finding Colorado mom's body 3 years after her disappearance. Maysville, Colorado. Tisha Leeway, a friend of Suzanne Morphew, slammed police for their accidental discovery of her dead body 3 years after the disappearance. Tisha, I'm not sure, Leeway calls police accidental discovery of remains infuriating. While Leeway admits that the finding is a huge step, she is infuriated that the remains were discovered accidentally. She told the U.S. Sun, "This is a huge step, but there's still so much we don't know," before adding, "Pandora's box has opened and we need to answer those questions." Castigating and Colorado Bureau of Investigation, Leeway said they have a lot to answer for. The beautician explained, "It's infuriating she was found accidentally. Clearly, the area wasn't on their radar." However, she is hopeful that the discovery will finally send the ball rolling, as she said. "The fact it was the CBI that made the discovery fills me with hope that they will start pushing harder for answers." Leeway has been the driving force in conducting search parties for Suzanne, she told the outlet. "I've spent the last 3 years pushing for answers, and I hope finally the questions we will have will be answered soon." This guy is the worst of the worst. I'd rather be out in the woods without my phone. I could definitely go without my phone, for sure. Hey, Blazing Star. But when I was kids, we used to ride bikes to our friend's house. I mean, hell, we'd go all around town riding bikes, going to see friends, going to the school, going to the park, going to everywhere. You know, you don't see kids aren't doing that today. If they're not inside stuck on games or tablets or phones, then they're, out there running the streets doing God knows what these days. We want to see the puppy. Oh my goodness, I got them all over the place here, guys. I got Nala right here. Hold on. Come here. Come here. People want to say hi to you. Yes, they do. Yes, everybody. Now I'll tell you in a second. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. This is Nala. Say hi, everybody. Hit that like for Mom. Hit that like for CNY, please. She's so cute. Sweet little Nala. Yes, there is. Okay. Our parents used to lock us outside during the summer. We drank out of the hose. Maybe that's what's wrong. No, we could drink out of the hose back in the day. Yes, she is. She is shy. Let me hold on, I'll grab Karma real quick so I can show her to you guys. All right. This is Karma. Say hello. Oh, yes, give Mommy kisses. Say hello to everybody. Say hello, everybody.
Can I hold Nala?
This is Karma.
Can I get Nala? I'll get.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, they are so adorable. But you know what? They are mess makers. I know, they're so freaking cute though. Yeah, they're wicked cute, but man, they make a mess. They are a pain. Now, I want to try to do these different kinds of crime stories every Friday, like do these lives. And I also put out a community post for voting because I really want to bring back Sunday coffee and chats every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. But I do want it to, I think I'm going to try to make just the Sunday coffees and chats. Everybody can see them and watch them. But I think they're going to be members only chats because members are asking for members only chats and I, have to do that for them. So yeah, they are. Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions or anything else that they want to talk about tonight about any of the cases that we talked about tonight? Does anybody have anything else that they want to say or go over or anything like that? I like your theory of your channel. What do you mean? Like just that we cover a whole bunch of different stuff? I'm one of those that, listen, we can sit and talk about whatever. I like my coffee and chat sessions. They're really fun. They're like more, let's get to know each other, chill. We watch some videos of this, that, and the other. It's pretty fun. Anything more about Trinity's case? No, like nothing new has come out about it anyway. Mama Da said that'll be 5 a.m. I know, I know it'll be really early for you guys, but I'm sorry about that. I know. it's really hard to get a time that works for everybody. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I haven't heard anything else new on Trinity's case, but that's another one that, I mean, can y'all believe that Placer County just got raises, $29 million of raises? And it's like, for what? You guys are like, you in Nevada County are like one of the worst police, I mean, two of the worst police freaking departments that I'd ever seen. And I'll give my respect to Kylie Mae always and every day. I know, me too, you guys. Me too, for real. I wish that I wish that I could have solved it and figured it all out and gotten you guys the truth. And I wish we all knew what the truth was. And I wish the people that were responsible for what happened are held responsible. I wish it was all done. Plus the overtime for Kylie's fake sit on our butts lies. I was just saying that the people that have tried, I know me for sure. I can only speak for myself, but I can tell you that I feel like I've put in more work and hours on her case than the damn police department did. For sure. Oh, no. Jerry, I still am talking about Kylie only if it's new information, though. Like, I feel like I'm banging my head against a wall because there is no new information, and it is just so frustrating for me. I mean, think about, you got to understand where I'm coming from. I've been looking at this case so hard for over a year, and it pisses me off and it frustrates me, and it puts a lot of weight on me that, I put a lot of pressure on myself because I was determined that I was going to be the one that was going to figure out what the hell happened. And I was going to be the one that found it. And, I put a lot of pressure on myself that I'm not. But at the same time, I'm not a detective. I'm not a cop. I don't have access to the resources that they have. I'm just a mom who homeschools her kids and has tons of kids and animals around. Like, I do the best that I can. But if any new information comes out about her, I definitely will, report that and act on that and do what I can with that. That's the only thing, I would love to sit here and talk to you guys about it every day. But it's like, I mean, if you guys want to go back, I have probably 200 videos on Kylie's case that I've done. And I tried, guys. I really tried. So it hurts to stay stuck. And, I figured I'd try to help as many other people as I can in the meantime. I'm not giving up. I just don't have anything new. I wish somebody that was involved would grow some balls and grow some compassion and some empathy and come forward and say something. Like, I get being scared. I get, do it anonymously. Like do something. Do something to help her. That's all. The true crime community found out what happened to Gabby Petito. Yeah, I don't think her case would have gotten as far as it did if it wasn't for social media. I mean, it's, social media and true crime does a lot of good. I think there's a lot of bullshit in it. I think a lot of people, just go off of, let me rephrase that. I think that people in true crime could do a lot of good for cases. Hold on, guys. With that being said, I think there's a lot of people that aren't in it for the victim. I think there's a lot of people who aren't in it for the truth, and they're literally just in it to try to, I don't know what, make a name for themselves. I don't know. But we just need, Kylie's case needs people that actually care about her and finding truth for her, and not stirring the drama, not stirring the bullshit, just, you know, keeping her in front mind. Thanks, Michael. LOL, CNY, me too. I thought I would figure it out too. Then I realized I can't harass or join the FBI. Right. I just want them all held responsible in the Kylie Rodney case and all the other similar cases. Even if we figure it out, unless something is done, justice will never be served. I know. And that's another thing. See, I really love to have you and everyone, amen, to see Kylie's videos, to keep on showing Kylie's name out there. And yes, definitely helped out Gabby's case. And has anyone heard from Larissa? I actually just talked to her. I can't get into anything. You know, I'm not going to speak for her, but I did just talk to her. They don't care about Kylie. I mean, you know, that's one thing you guys can, you know, my real true people, my people who really, you know me and have been here know that that is not me at all. I'm looking into that, Jerry. I actually just started looking into that, girl. So I will let you guys know if I can find anything on that. All right, but it's getting really crazy here, you guys, tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please hit that thumbs up. Please sub to the channel. Please consider becoming a member of the family. And I do ask you, you know, my family is going through a lot right now. I can't really get into a lot of the details, but I will pass on everybody's love to Larissa. I will definitely do that. You guys are awesome. She'll really appreciate that. But we are going through a lot right now. And if you guys can help in any way, the links are all down in the description below. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light. And I will see you guys next time. Leave me all your thoughts and opinions and comments down in the comment section below. I love you guys. Have an awesome night. Thanks, everybody.